Meow, meow.
Nobody's watching yet because you're not on camera. You know that, right? They only come to see you. They don't want to see me. See, nobody's going to watch now because you're walking away. There we go. Starting to have a few people here. Caught me talking to my cat. That happens every once in a while, huh? Hi, Ray. Hi, PDXer. Hi, Lorelei. Hi, Dougie. Bike's down below here, dragging the mouse around here. So I keep seeing the cursor move around on the screen because he's moving the mouse around, aren't you, Bike? Gotta make your presence known, even though you're not going to come on be on camera, aren't you? Hello, Ann. Hi, Tim. Hi, Todd. Hi, Linda. Hi, Dave. Hi, Connie. Yeah, see, now here he is, coming up here for the attention. I swear he knows when I'm going to do a live stream because, normally during the day he's up in his bedroom, kind of sleeping on the shelf with his sister. But the second I start setting up the laptop, down he comes, and he's usually here before I go live. Merry Christmas, Emma. Thank you. Wasn't even sure I was going to be able to do one of these today. I'm going back home tomorrow, and there was so much to do, but I got it all pretty much done. So all I got to do now is go shoot a restaurant vlog this afternoon, and I'm good to go and pack. Just placed your order for pizza. That's cool. That sounds good. Have some delivered here too. Merry Christmas to you too, Lurley. Yeah, 25 people here in 2 minutes. That's pretty good. I'm glad you guys are waiting for me to come on here because I mean, it's not like I even went anywhere and said it was just going to happen. I just turned it on and here everyone is, including this guy. Yeah, they aren't waiting for me. They're waiting for you, aren't they? Yeah, I knew it. Light comes on the screen. All of a sudden, everybody's here. So, yep, I'm going home to California tomorrow. So, got to still do my packing, but that's going to be pretty simple. When you're kind of flying bargain airlines, they kind of uh, crack down on how much you can bring. So I try and pack light and just take a backpack and my laptop, and that's about it. I become a YouTube superstar. Hope so. It's getting there. I've seen a little growth from the JFK videos. People seem to like that. And I knew I'd inspire a few arguments about the conspiracy theories and all that, but whatever. I'm not even really joining the debate on that. If you guys want to talk to each other about conspiracy theories, and go for it. I don't put a whole lot of credence in them. Thanks. I'm glad you like the lights behind me. Yeah, that was a suggestion that someone made. You should have Christmas lights behind you. And it's like, you know what? I brought all the Christmas lights over to hang up on my apartment here, and didn't use them all. So I figured, I got a few left over. So let's just put them behind me here. Looks kind of cool. Looks pretty festive, right? Yeah, I'm earning a little bit of money on here. It was frustrating. The first video was demonetized 24 hours before it went live, and it took them 48 hours to review it. And so, about the first 18 or so hours that it was live, there were no commercials on it while they were reviewing. But in that case, I didn't want to make it so. I didn't want to really make it so. I didn't have a video go up that day, so even though I didn't make any money in the first 18 hours, I still put it up. Did you hear that, Bite? They want you to have a meowty Christmas. I'm sure you will, right? As he shows you his butt. Have I slowed down on the job searches? I'm still looking, but it's not a whole lot going on right now because generally people aren't hiring during the holidays. So, do I have an opinion of whether Oswald acted alone? Um, I think the best evidence that there may have been a second shooter was the Zapruder film and that shot of JFK and the kill shot, because you'd think that if the bullet came from behind and he got hit, you'd think that the head would snap forward, but his head snapped backwards, and that seems to imply that something came from in front. I don't know. I've heard some people suggest that the shooter was behind the Texas Book Depository on the railroad tracks. I know that's not possible because that would not be a straight line shot. When you're going down Elm Boulevard where the limo was, there's a pretty steep decline going down there, and so it wouldn't be possible to do that. Now, if there's somebody up on behind that wooden fence or whatever, I don't know. I've also heard people say that Oswald didn't kill anyone. Well, it's pretty good evidence, at least, that he killed Officer Tibbet. So, because there were a whole bunch of witnesses that saw him running away from the Tibbet shooting with a gun in his hand, and I heard like 9 people were able to pull him out of a lineup. So, at very least, he did that, and it seems like he attempted to kill the officer in the Texas Theater when the officer approached him to arrest him. So I don't know. I think it's possible that he may have been one of the shooters. I don't know if he's the only one though. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate that you liked the video. I worked hard on that. That was I studied on that for a couple of weeks to try and figure out, to pinpoint all the locations, and read a lot of the Warren Commission's report on that, read newspaper articles on the issue, and so yeah, I was especially proud of part two, where I was able to retrace his steps from when he left the Texas Book Depository until he ended up in the Texas Theater. And you're right, that was a pretty sketchy part of town. As I mentioned in that video, when I was looking at that plaque on the side of the Texas Book Depository, a group of people came up that were, on a tour on that. And while I was kind of sitting there, I heard one of them say, "Oh, can we go over to where Officer Tibbet was shot?" And the guy said, "Well, yeah, I guess we can, but we'll just have to drive by because I guess there was a murder there last night." So, I was out there on foot in that area. I mean, I guess I'm not really as intimidated by things like that. I'm a pretty big guy, and honestly, I've been in sketchier parts of LA. Will I be vlogging Branch Davidian's site? Yeah, probably. I'll hit that at some point. I just kind of I want to hold off on that one because between the Washington lynching and the uh, the gunfight in downtown Waco, I've covered a few kind of negative aspects of the town and didn't want to kind of build up a reputation that I'm ragging on Waco. Waco is a beautiful place, and I liked it. And um, I like living here, and I don't want them to hate me because I'm ragging on the town too much. Oh, that's great. I'm glad you shared it with your Facebook group, Todd. I appreciate that. I'm thinking right now that I'm going to take the three videos, crunch it together into one video, and release it as a director's cut. That'll maybe happen in a few days. I got to see what YouTube's going to do. I ended up having to do some last minute edits to appease YouTube, and I think what I'm going to do is restore those clips and release it as a single video. I'll keep the parts up because one of the things I found out is when the original version of part one, I included the Foles the Brooder film in there, and YouTube responded by saying, "Okay, well, we're going to have an age limit on that one. You got to be 18 or older to watch that one." And so I elected to remove that and just put the frames in there in its place. But I think I'll replace that, with the director's cut. And then there was also I ended up cutting out the video, the clip in the third one of Jack Ruby murdering Oswald, and put some clips and as some frame grabs there. And I think I'll restore that too. I don't know. We'll see. Will I be doing any more of the RC airplane vlogs? Yeah, maybe. I would still think it'd be great if I could talk to one of these guys and put a GoPro in one of those airplanes. That'd be fun to get actual aerial footage from the inside the plane. Do I have a favorite type of vlog so far? No, not really. I think the ones that I'm proudest of are of the history ones. I'm really proud of the Waco tornado one that I did early on. I thought that was one of my better ones. I'm really proud of the Jesse Washington one. That one, was a difficult subject, but I thought it was an important story, and I'm glad I was able to tell it. I was interested in the showdown video that I did. That was pretty fun. I enjoy the cemetery ones, especially if I have someone specific to look for. And of course, I'm really proud of the JFK ones. So I guess it would be kind of the historical ones if I were to pick them out. But I like doing the restaurants, and I like doing the cooking and showing stuff like that. I also like the ones that I call Professor Breck, where I get in there and I teach you something. I think there's a lot of teacher in my DNA, so that kind of comes naturally to me, and I think I really like doing that. Do I still have that RC car with the blue body? I don't think I ever had one with a blue body. I had one with a green body. I think that's maybe. And you've obviously looked at my personal YouTube one, because I think I did some YouTube footage of with the GoPro on that and of driving the car around. I think that's probably what you're talking about. Oh yeah, yeah, a cat's behind me. I know that. Yeah, I saw him come. Thanks. I'm glad you like the JFK vlogs. Third one's coming up too. Uh, I'm really excited for you to see that one too, because I really got some cool footage on that one. I got to see things that probably no one will ever get to see again. So you'll just have to wait to see that one. Yeah, yeah. If you're talking about the one where I was driving around, I had the RC car driving around in the street in front of my house, and yeah, that was a video that I did. I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, and I still own the car, but it's in the storage locker somewhere. I didn't really use it a whole lot because it really wasn't that fast. It was kind of a toy that they built. We were visiting Disneyland one time, and you've seen those stores where they got the Build a Bear. Well, they had one in downtown Disney, that you could build your own RC car also. And we were there with my nephew and my niece, and my nephew, who was, I don't know, probably 10 or 12 at the time, wanted to do that. And my dad built one and I built one and he built one, and that was how that went. And then my niece went in and she went in to build a bear and built one there. Merry Christmas, Matt. Appreciate that. Thanks. I'm glad you like the JFK vlogs. Yeah, that was there's a lot of work in that. I spent several weeks researching that. As you know, that was a suggestion from Jordan. He he's been kind of offering me a lot of suggestions on how to grow my channel. And one of the things he pointed out, and I think I mentioned this in the first video, was that to date, most of the videos I'm doing have just kind of very small audiences, for people who, either live in Waco or are just interested in me and are my regular followers. Not enough really to entice other people to come in. And so he kind of suggested that I do an epic vlog, and he actually suggested JFK. And I kind of went back to him and said, "You don't think that one's been done to death?" And he said, "No, it'd be a good one for you." And I was actually really surprised when I was looking around. There aren't really a whole lot of videos on YouTube on the subject. And most of them aren't, like vloggers doing things. It's like, news reports that mention it, from, 50 years ago, or people doing little follow-ups on it or something like that. I think my biggest regret on the video was I couldn't get into the Lee Harvey Oswald boarding house, because from the research I had done, they, for years and years and years, nobody was allowed in that house because the owner just didn't want anything to do with it. Well, I guess there's a new owner now, and the new owner is actually getting more involved in, kind of helping to preserve that part. And she now gives tours of the building. And in fact, when I was scoping everything out, what I'd do is I'd go on like Google Maps and get onto Street View just to kind of make sure I knew the area really well and knew where everything was. And when I was looking at the house on Street View, I saw there's a sign right in the front yard that says Oswald Rooming House and Museum. And he gave a telephone number where you'd go and visit it. So I didn't call ahead of time. I waited until I got in front of the house and literally called the number at that point. And she says, and the woman was really nice. And she said, "Oh, it's too bad. I'm out of town right now. I can't do that." But, she offered me a whole bunch of suggestions on like bus tours and stuff like that. It's like, well, I'd already kind of done my homework, but I appreciated her enthusiasm just the same. Yeah, well, that's, you thought I was going to do the Branch Davidians. Yeah, well, I like to keep you guessing. I will do the Branch Davidians at some point. And that would probably be a good epic vlog too. A few months ago, somebody also suggested that I ought to do the fertilizer plant explosion in West Texas, and that's just up the road about 20 or 30 miles from here. I may do that at some point too. I do like covering some of those historical sites, although that was the explosion in West Texas. That was like a blip on the news report. People didn't talk about that much after a few days after it happened, unless you were in the area. Everybody knows about JFK. Everybody knows about Branch Davidians because the Branch Davidian thing went on for, a long, long time. It was weeks and weeks and weeks between when the standoff started and when it ended in that fire. So you've never heard of the explosion at the fertilizer factory? Yeah, I remember hearing about it, and I did a little bit of research on it when somebody suggested it, and it looked kind of interesting. And there's some kind of cool video of it. Basically, it was a factory that manufactured fertilizer, and one of the fertilizers that they produced was ammonium nitrate. Now, for those of you who know your history, ammonium nitrate is what Timothy McVeigh used to take out the FBI building in Oklahoma City. and ammonium nitrate became kind of a controlled substance after that. And apparently, there was just a simple fire that started in the storage building, and eventually the ammonium nitrate ignited and it blew a big hole in that town. So yeah, that would be an interesting video. I think I may do that at some point. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the walk through history. It was fun to retrace the steps of all that. Will Jordan be going home for Christmas? I don't know. I don't know about that. Latest I heard was when he was on the live stream last week, and he said at that point he had all his videos shot through Christmas, so shot and uploaded. So he may just be taking some time off. I don't know what he's doing. Did I do all that video shooting in one day? Yeah, I had actually planned on, but perhaps spending the night in Dallas, but I got it done really quick. I was really surprised how quickly I got it done. And I think I just kind of attribute it to, I really did my homework on that. And I, organized it really, really, intricately, because so much of that was very, very close to it, to everything else. You know, the Texas Book Depository and the boarding house and the Texas Theater and the police station where Lee Harvey Oswald was shot and the location of Jack Ruby's nightclub. They were all within just like a couple miles of each other. And so, it was a lot of times, I just got out of the car and walked, everything up until the bus station. I parked at the Texas Book Depository and walked until then, and then got into the car to drive over to Oswald's rooming house, and then drove over to the Tippett site, and from there I walked over to the Texas Theater and back to do all that. So I had all of that done probably before 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and then all I had to do is go out to the grave and. That was about a 30-minute drive, and it was actually kind of almost on the way home. So yeah, I was home before I think 5:30 or 6. So I got it done in one day. It was nice. Yeah, Dallas is a pretty city. One of the things I mentioned in the video that goes up tonight is that you really, when you're walking around downtown Dallas, it's one of those cities you got to look up and around you, because there's a lot of beautiful architecture on those buildings. No, I think you're right, PDX. Your buses don't seem to make good getaway vehicles, especially when the bus is heading back into the chaos that you just created. See, I would bet you if the bus had gone another direction, it wouldn't have been an issue. But when you shoot the president, the police basically locked the whole area down. So, and that's just going to mess up traffic pretty bad. So. The Texas Book Depository area. I mean, it's all within like 100 yards of everything. Because you literally go out the front door of the Texas Book Depository, cross a little side street kind of thing, walk down the hill, and you're in the grassy knoll. Yeah, yeah. I thought it was good. I thought it was good that I could kind of match up some of the shots a little bit. Well, and taking the bus may have been his only option because, if you've ever seen the picture of the rooming house that he lived in, it was a tiny, tiny little place. When you think of the size of a normal bedroom, this was half that size. It was room for a twin bed, and that was about it in there. That guy didn't have a whole lot of money, so I'm sure he didn't have a car of his own. And so he probably had to depend on public transportation. There was no Uber in those days. Yeah, that was one of the things I saw too, Vicky, is that most of the stuff was just of the the shooting area and and the Jack Ruby shooting. I was really surprised how little there was out there on some of the other stuff, and that's why I kind of thought it was important, especially on the part two of the video, to try and retrace his steps. Yeah, you're right, John. I thought that was odd too. That they believe the shooting had come out of the building. You'd think the first thing you do is you lock down the building and you don't let anybody leave. But apparently, when they encountered Oswald on the second floor of the building, the police officer with was accompanied with Oswald's boss, and Oswald's boss said, "Oh yeah, he's an employee here," and with that, he let him go. So yeah, I don't know. That wasn't, maybe if they hadn't done that, Officer Tippett would still be alive. Yeah, I didn't really go too much into the conspiracy theories, like because you never know which one might be true and which ones might not be true, and maybe none of them are true. Who knows? That's why they call them conspiracy theories. You never really know. I don't rule out that there was a cover up, but I mean, unless they totally framed this guy, I mean, the fact that they found shell casings and the rifle at the location of the window where the shooting allegedly took place from, and the shell casings had Oswald's fingerprints on it. The rifle had his palm prints on it. The boxes around the area had his fingerprints on it. Um, there was a photo of him taken by his wife, and his wife testified that she took the photo of him that was of him holding the rifle, from 6 months earlier. That he, and I, and he had a clipboard that was supposed to be the jobs that he was supposed to do that day. And when they found the clipboard afterwards, he hadn't done any of his work. It's like, I don't know, there comes a point where there's enough suspicion there that I think he was at least involved. I don't think he's innocent, but you know, is he the only one? I don't know. We may never know that. Yeah, you're right. There are so many theories, and I think that's why people. And I think you're right. That's why people are confused, just because there's so many. Oh no, I think this happened. No, I think that happened. Yeah, he's back. Hello, Bite. You want a kitty treat? That's really the only reason you come here, right? We look so sorrowful here. Hi, Gene. I'm doing great. Yeah, Bite's here also, of course. Yeah, I don't know if the fact that he shot other people confirms that he's a killer, but it at least suggests as much. I mean, if the guy is as paranoid as he thought he was, and thought that they were going to try and frame him for this, who knows? Did they ever find out why he did it? No, no. He was dead too early. See, that was the problem. He pretty much clammed up. From what I heard. He did claim that he was on the sixth floor of the Texas Book Depository when the shooting occurred. Um, he says he didn't do it. He says that the rifle didn't belong to him, even though his fingerprints were all over it. Apparently, he claims that the photo of him holding the rifle was doctored. Um, you know, he pretty much clammed up and didn't talk a whole lot. And unfortunately, he was dead before we really could get into it. It was about an hour and a half to drive to Dallas. Yeah, I don't know if he was a patsy, but I don't know, but I think he was partially involved. I don't know if he was the only person. How are my parents? So far, so good. I got a text message from my dad a couple days ago. He says he's doing well. One of the things they want to do when I go home is they're finally getting serious now about maybe moving into an assisted care place. They're realizing that having to call the paramedics all the time when my dad can't get, ends up on the ground and can't get himself back up, that's just not a workable solution. So I think they're both open to the idea of going into assisted living place, and I think they found a place they like. Um, so I think we're going to take a look at that while I'm there. What was Jack Ruby's story? What I read is that Jack Ruby was really distraught over Kennedy's death, and he said that he didn't want to put Jacqueline Kennedy through the horror of having to relive everything with the trial. I never saw Urban Cowboy with John Travolta, so if I'm going to do something, it's got to be something that's interesting to me. And you know, vlogging a movie I never saw, you know, it's just it doesn't do it. Many people think Jack Ruby was getting ready to talk before his death, maybe, but I tend to not put a whole bunch of credence in what people think. Some people think Elvis is still alive, so who knows? Yeah, I am going home for Christmas. I'm leaving tomorrow. I almost wasn't sure whether I was going to have time to do this vlog today or this live stream today because I had so many things I had to do, but fortunately I got them done really quickly. So there was still a little time to do this, and when I get done with this, I'll go out and do a restaurant vlog, and we're good to go. Thanks, Laura. I will. Did I see the Schwarzenegger film Jingle All the Way? No, I don't think I did. I saw that one. It was filmed in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Yeah, I had all my grandparents used to live in the St. Paul area. My uncle still lives in Bloomington. It's funny if I ever wanted to have my uncle come down and visit me, it'd be very easy. Just tell him get on 35 south and come down to get off at Waco. Guess who's back? His motor's running. I should do a cooking vlog with my mom while I'm in California. Yeah, I don't know if you're really that interested in being on camera. Thank you, Tony. Merry Christmas to you too, y'all. So you haven't picked that up yet? No Texas drawl for me. Thanks, Kathy. Same to you and your family. Yeah, my not necessarily Scandinavia, but my my mom is Swedish, and then my father is like German, Polish, Czechoslovakian, kind of in that area. Yeah, Waco weather's been reasonably cool lately. I think it's in the 60s today. We had a rainstorm a couple of, I wouldn't even call it a rainstorm. It was a sprinkled storm a couple nights ago. I guess it was just last night. Said, 80% chance of rain, and it just kind of missed it all day. I was looking at the rain gauge out there and, got a trace of rain. That was all. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate that. Your family too. Yeah, Tony. I'm sorry I haven't given you a shout out yet. I saw it just on the day the first JFK video went up, and I had already shot all that. But yeah, I did see that, and your shout out will come out not on the video tonight, but on the video tomorrow. So I appreciate your Patreon support. I did see that. Thank you very much. I probably should have gotten back to you and told you, thank you ahead of time. But that's the thing you run into sometimes when you do a 3-part vlog, and it's like all of a sudden, oh man, there's I got all this stuff here, and I got to thank this person. And have I ever searched for my family? Not me personally, but people on both sides of my family have done pretty extensive ones. Um, I went home for, I guess it would have to be my great aunt, her 100th birthday. I don't know, it was 7 or 8 years ago, and somebody had produced an absolutely massive family tree for everything. My mom's father was one of 12 kids, and a lot of his kids, his brothers, like had 12 kids. So this was just an absolutely massive family, and they had like a 20-foot section of wall just plastered with names that somebody had looked up. And then my father and grandfather kind of did the same thing on that end. Yeah, I was noticing that too, Kathy. Yeah, it looks like California's getting rain this year. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be nice. Is it costly to visit the six four museum? No, I mean, I don't know. It depends on what you consider costly. It was what, $19 or something to get in, but it's a pretty impressive thing. I actually didn't spend a whole bunch of time in there because uh, when I came to Texas early this year to kind of research places I wanted to live, I visited then, and I saw the tour and spent a whole bunch of time in there then. So this time I went specifically just because I wanted stuff specifically about the assassination. And so, I wanted, the picture from the window, and I wanted the picture of the suit that the police officer was holding when Oswald was killed. And I wanted the picture of Jack Ruby's hat. And I wanted the picture of all the cameras and that wireframe diagram scale model thing that they built. I wanted pictures of that. So I went into it. I was probably only in the museum for 10 or 15 minutes because I knew specifically what I wanted, and I didn't spend a whole bunch of time in there because I knew it was going to be a long day because I had so many things to look at. And like I said, at the time, I was thinking I might end up spending the night in Dallas. I was actually prepared to do that. thank you, Lisa. Same to you. And bye, another Meowsy Christmas to you. Okay, is that cool? All right. Bite says thank you. Meowdy Christmas to you too. Oh yeah, yeah. That's absolutely what he wants. He's only here for the treats. No, I understand, Tim. Not everybody can afford to do it. It helps me that you watch. You know, if you watch the commercials, because I get paid for that, and that doesn't cost anything. Yeah, it was a really nice day out there that day. It was nice and sunny. I mean, it was a little chilly. It was a little windy. You saw I was wearing a jacket for most of the day, and finally decided to do something with the fact that I have kind of wild hair when it's windy, and so I wore a hat all day. Thanks. Yeah, I do hope I do get some good growth out of this video. You know, it's been good so far. I've gotten like 11 new subscribers in the past 2 days, so that's a good move. I'm moving in the right direction. Am I or Santa bringing the kiddies anything for Christmas? Usually, my parents come up with some Christmas presents for them. You know, usually a cat toy or something like that. I don't know. We'll see what Santa Cat brings, right? Santa Cat can bring you something. Have you been a good kitty this year? You better hope he doesn't give you bad naughty points for barfing on the stairs all the time, huh? Hi, Sherry. Merry Christmas. Yeah, okay, I guess we'll give Kitty some more kitty treats here. You want more kitty treats? Is that what it's about? You should not be such a slob and not eat with your mouth open. It's rude. There's 67 people watching you. They don't want to see that. That's my buddy. Yeah, see, he got what he wants. Now he's on. Oh, he loves me for the kitty treats, don't you? Yeah, Gene, you're right. It's all about the kitty treats. I knew that there would be a bunch of conspiracy theories on the shooting, and like I said, you know, go at it in the comments section. I'm not really giving a whole lot of you know discussion on the issue. As I mentioned at the end of the third vlog, I didn't really talk much about the conspiracy theories because I don't know which ones. There's so many of them. I don't know which one to follow, and you know, I suppose that you could spend a lifetime researching that and still maybe not come up with the answer. I just kind of wanted to talk about the parts that we did know. You know, I'll leave it up to everyone else to figure out what actually happened. Would I ever do a Christmas gig dressed up as Santa Claus? I don't know if maybe this year my Christmas gig was playing Freddy Krueger. So you know, Oh, I don't doubt that the shops are crazy today. Actually, we had to go over to Target, pick up something today, and um, it wasn't too bad. I wouldn't. I guess I was there early enough that it didn't become an issue, but I could see how it could get bad. Yeah, history. Yeah, who knows what would have happened if JFK hadn't been killed? He seemed to be a reasonably popular president. Might have gotten reelected. Who knows what would have happened? Seems to me he wasn't so much into Vietnam as LBJ was. He might have pulled out earlier. Who knows? Who knows what would have happened? Freddy Krueger dressed as Santa. Yeah. Well, that was interesting because some of the people that were playing like the characters had like little Christmas twists in them. There were a couple people that were playing Freddy Krueger in the maze I was in. In fact, it was kind of funny because I had people commenting when they came to me because one of the Freddy Kruegers was like 5'4", and then there was me, and I'm 6'3", and so they kept saying, "Oh, you're the tall Freddy Krueger." That kind of thing would never happen at Disneyland because at Disneyland, you're if you're going to play a particular character, you have to fit certain kind of size limits. They'd never let somebody like me play Mickey Mouse because a 6'3" Mickey Mouse would scare the kids. I think the tallest you can be to be Mickey Mouse is 5'2" or 5'4". Does your family exchange a lot of Christmas gifts? It was more when we were kids. Basically now, there'll be, three or four things, but it's usually things that we want. So, those are kind of cool. You get the things that you want rather than just numbers. It's not like that kid in the Harry Potter movie uh, that freaks out when he didn't have the same number of presents or more presents than he had last year. Does a man or a woman play Mickey? It can be either, but more often than not, it's women. Just because it's women that are smaller, but as long as you fit the size, you're in the size range, then then you can do it, male or female. I tried out for characters once, and about the only thing someone my size can do. I can play Goofy because Goofy's big. That would be fun, by the way. I'm kind of a goofy person anyway. I could play Sully from Monsters Inc. I could play Beast from Beauty and the Beast, and that's about it. I think I'm a little too round in the midsection to play Jack Skellington anymore. You see the kids that play that, and they're like usually skin and bones. Oh, that is nice. You saw local police taking kids Christmas shopping. That's kind of nice. I've been reading how it's been like 44 degrees Celsius in Australia. Is that where you are, Sherry? Cherry? Sorry. Yeah, I don't know if like I said earlier, I think the single best piece of evidence that there may have been more than one shooter is the Zapruder tape because you look at the kill shot on that, and you'd think if the bullet was coming from behind, like as would have happened if the shooter was in the Texas Book Depository, you'd think that the impact would have made Kennedy's head snap forward. But you look at the video, and his head snaps backwards. That almost seems like the bullet came from in front. I don't know. That's the only evidence I've seen. Yeah, so you are in Australia. Yeah, that's what I thought. I saw him say, like I said, I saw an article just what yesterday or day before that it was like 44 degrees Celsius. That's hot. That's one of the things I don't know if I'd ever be able to get used to in Australia, Christmas in the summer. Yes, it's just one of those things you get used to, though. Those fires in Australia are really bad. You know, it's just kind of like the fires in California. Not that there are any right now, but when they get going, it's just crazy. When we get all those Santa Ana winds, things get crazy out there. How do I find the food vlogs I do? Are you talking about the restaurants or the recipes where I actually cook? If it's the restaurants, I just kind of look around for restaurants in the area, and if it looks good, and if they seem to have a history with the town or a lot of good reviews, I do it that way. As for the stuff I cook, those are submitted by my viewers for the most part. Oh, I know why they don't do controlled burns in California. It's the environmentalists won't allow it. Hey, Epic Paul's in the house. Hi, Paul. How are you doing, buddy? Yeah, because the fires in California could so totally be controlled if they just did some controlled burns during the wet season. Problem is, they just let everything overgrow, and then when the fires go, it just explodes. Right, Mike? That's what's happening, isn't it? It's mismanagement. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate that. You have something to say to Todd, huh? You just send us a super chat. Yeah, I went to Dirt Cheap. I wasn't really impressed. That was kind of I don't know, not a place I was really into. I did a loop around the store, and that was that was that. From what I heard, Lee Harvey went to the house to get the pistol and change clothes, he was intentionally going to the movie theater. I think he was just going to try and hide out in there for a while until things cooled down. Yeah, I heard that he left his wedding ring there too. In fact, they have the wedding ring at the museum. I showed that. Oh, don't worry about it, Todd. I appreciate anything. The most important thing is that you keep watching. That doesn't cost anything. You sit there and you watch the commercials, and I get paid for that. So I understand that not everyone has endless amounts of money, and a lot of people are on limited income. So I appreciate anything you can do. But the best thing to do is just keep watching the videos. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, PDXer. And you do, and you like you said, the fires are important. There's certain kinds of pine trees that only release seeds for new pine trees when fires happen, because it takes a fire to open up the pine cone and release the seeds. That's true, John. Yeah, everything I read about that the guy in the shoe store, he was instrumental in catching the guy. In fact, I saw an interview that was done just a few years ago. The guy is, well, a few years ago at least, he was still alive. He moved down to Austin after all this happened and continued running another shoe store down there. And one of the local news companies, caught up with him and interviewed him, and he's a very humble guy. Just you know, keeps kind of diminishing his epic part of history, and but he's got all sorts of like plaques and presidential commendations and stuff like that on the wall for his part. The guy is a hero, absolutely. Yeah, YouTube I think has a lot of say on it. I've battled with YouTube a few times over just the JFK videos. Episodes 1 and 3 were both blocked at one point from YouTube. My original take of the first part of the video um, included the Zapruder film, and they wanted to require you to be 18 years old to watch that. So I ended up removing the Zapruder film and just putting some screen captures in its place. And on the third one, I also showed the Jack Ruby murdering Oswald video, and you know, same issue. Actually, I got a copyright hit on that one initially, and so okay, fine. If somebody else owns it, I understand that. I found another take of the Oswald shooting, and hopefully that won't be a problem. I'm actually thinking about recutting the video, turning it into one big video, one 45-minute video, and calling it a director's cut and uploading that at some point. Yeah, you're probably right, Jerry. If Ruby hadn't killed Oswald, there wouldn't probably be as many conspiracy theories, because by now, you know, Oswald may have spoken, he may have, misspoke or got caught in lies or something like that. There just wasn't enough time to get anything from him. Basically all they said is he denied killing Tippit, he denied killing Kennedy. He says the gun didn't belong to him. The rifle didn't belong to him, despite the fact that there was pictures of him holding the gun. Um, all that stuff. But we might have learned more if he'd lived longer. Hi, Jenny. That's okay. I'm glad you're able to stop in a little bit. Thank you. You have a great weekend too. Gonna go visit friends. That sounds like fun. Hi, Tim. How are you doing? Now, the information I read about Jack Ruby is he thought that he was, he was really distraught over Kennedy being assassinated, and from what I heard from him, he thought that by assassinating Oswald, that he would be helping prevent Jackie Kennedy from having to go through the whole thing again. I don't think it makes any difference, Tom, what platform you watch it. I think the issue is just if you watch the ads. Yeah, if the sixth floor museum has the copyright to the Zapruder film, um, then I would figure that YouTube would would have flagged it because when I put the Jack Ruby footage in, that was immediately flagged. Yeah, I don't know, Paul. We might just not be going into the right stores. What you got to do is you got to go hang out at Home Depot more. That's where I am all the time. Yeah, but there were a whole bunch of people that said that they saw someone that looked like Oswald running away from the scene with a gun, and I heard like nine people eventually were able to pull Oswald out of a lineup. So that seems pretty hidden. That seems pretty rock solid evidence to me. I wouldn't call you late, VNA. We're about halfway in. Have I run into any fans here? Not really. Ironically, I think this after the second video that I produced, I was at Home Depot in California, and I ran into somebody there who, I just figured, it was somebody that knew me from Jordan, and but no, he'd actually knew I was vlogging, and had seen my like two vlogs that had been up. And he ran into me, and we spoke for a few minutes. I also had somebody run into me at the first time I was at Silo of Screams that knew me from that. In fact, now they said they had come because I had talked about being there, and so they'd come to see me specifically. So it wasn't just a chance meeting. But no, I haven't had anyone recognize me short of that one guy. Now I've been recognized a couple times when I'm at Jordan. Thanks. I'm glad you like the JFK ones. The third one comes up tonight, and I think it's really good too. I got to see some things that I was surprised that I got to see. And I'm not going to do too much teasing because I want you to watch it. But are there any stray dogs or cats in Texas? Oh, I'm sure there are. You don't see them wandering the streets so very much, but I'm sure there's stray dogs and cats everywhere. Dallas was fine. It's not a place I'd want to live though. It was too much like what I was trying to escape from California. I like kind of being out in the middle of nowhere. I was out doing a Christmas lights vlog last night, and one of the houses I was looking at, and you'll see it on the video in a couple of days. One of the houses that had lights on it was for sale. It was a big, beautiful house. And I figured, okay, well, this has got to be like $1 million house. I got home, it's $599. That's just that's what the houses are just really affordable here. a third of an acre lot. It was like 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, had like a 5 car garage. I was thinking, oh man, what I could do with that. I'd use one car, one garage for the car, and the other four would be my workspace. Why am I Home Depot a lot? Because I love Home Depot, and when you're always fixing things, that's where you go. Yeah, when I was looking at that house, I looked at other houses kind of in the area, and I saw one that looks like it was just an abandoned crack house or something like that. It was what 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1,500 square feet. It was all boarded up and all that, but they wanted $39,000 for it. It's like, wow. Yeah, feel free to spread the word of the JFK vlog. You may actually want to wait a couple days because I'm thinking about doing a director's cut of that, where I basically take all 3 videos, put them together in one video, and like I said, I got to see what YouTube's going to say about that first. But I may end up putting that up, and that would be a good one to see because then you can see the whole thing. And I'm going to restore footage that I pulled out to appease YouTube. Have I ever done work on my own car? I'm not really the gearhead like that. I can do simple things, and if it's an electrical problem, I'm usually pretty good at tracking that down. But in terms of motors and stuff like that, I'm not really that knowledgeable on that. Yeah, Stephanie. Yeah, Paul's right. I am in Waco. Hi, Brian. I mean, if you want to put up the 3 parters, that's cool too. That actually probably is better for me because then it counts as 3 separate views, and if you get commercials for 3 of them, that never hurts. So, yeah, absolutely share them out. Let everyone see them. That's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to build the channel here. But I like camping. Yeah, I love camping. Haven't done any of it here yet because it's either too hot or too cold to be out there. But I have all the camping equipment. I got sleeping bag and the tent and the propane stove and the lanterns and all that stuff. Very cool. Thank you, VNA. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's another thing. If you're somebody that wants to help and you just you're on a limited income and you can't do Patreon or super chats or anything like that, just share my videos. Help get the word out. That's free. Yeah, that's kind of my thought too, Stephanie. That's I there were half a dozen towns that I considered um, when I was thinking about where I was going to move here. And Dallas and Fort Worth were each on the list, and I really chose Waco just because I love the charm of this place. They say when you pack a whole bunch of rats into a cage, they start killing each other. I think it's kind of the same thing with people in big cities. You pack too many people into a small area, and they just get rude. And that was one of the things I did notice when I was around in Dallas. People have no patience for you. You know, you freak them out, you make them mad, and they're like honking at you. And they're flashing a bird at you and stuff like that. And it's like, this is what I wanted to get away from. That doesn't happen here in Waco. No, still looking for a job, Brian, but the search continues. It's a little slow right now because a lot of people don't hire right around the holidays, but things will pick up. I think once the new year starts. Yeah, I saw that one about Jordan and Brisbee. That was an interesting place. I haven't seen today's video yet, but I saw the one where because he stayed in like two trailers on two separate nights, and one of them was like a boat, and one of them was a trailer. Yeah, that hamburger place, that was great. Yeah, I've been to Lake Waco a couple times. I once during the summer I went and just kind of walked down to the lake, found like an abandoned like park area that I guess got flooded out a few years back and they never restored it. And on another vlog, I took actually a trip around Lake Waco, and that was where I discovered the RC park, the radio controlled airplane park. That was when I discovered the Waco wetlands, and also went and visited the Lake Waco Dam. If you're serious about getting a job at Disneyland, just go to the administration building. It's on the north side of the property. It's just off of Ball Road. When you get over the 5 freeway, um, go in there. There's a street, I think it's called Cast Place. Turn left onto Cast Place or right, depending on which way you're coming. Going into the park, and there's a big kind of parking lot there. Walk up to the security gate desk and say you're there to apply for a job, and they'll direct you to HR. If you have it all at all going on, if you have it all on the ball, you'll get a job. Because they just they have a whole department that's just hiring people because they're bringing people in all the time. I bet you they hire 100 or 200 people a day. Yeah, it's just off a ball, Brian. Ball and Cast Place, and you turn into the parking lot, and there's like a big parking lot on the left. There's like they actually got an old house there now. There's an interesting story on that house, uh, but the right behind the house is an outdoor parking lot. They've got a parking structure there too, but you turn into the area by the parking lot just past the house and park in there and just go in and talk to HR. Do I ever rent DVDs through Redbox? No. If it's a DVD I want, I usually go out and buy it, um, or I'll stream it from like Netflix or something. Yeah, I'm kind of getting to the point where I miss working a little bit too. I'm getting stir crazy. I like doing the vlogging, but that's just not enough. I just use my cell phone for 99.9% of my videos. It's done pretty well for me. It's not that good in the dark, and at that point, I may end up, taking a cue from Jordan and getting a camera like he has, because he's got a great low light camera that he uses. I don't know if I'd ever go the full SLR mode that he does, but who knows? Maybe. I'm small potatoes right now. I just have to do everything on the cell phone at this point. Yeah, I'm kind of a one man show right now, Paul. I shoot and edit my own stuff, and I think I'm pretty decent at the editing end of things. One thing I got to remember, and sometimes I do it well, and sometimes I don't, is I have to remember that when I start recording, to give it a second before I start talking, because sometimes I start talking too quickly and I end up upcutting myself. Yeah, if you're looking for a job, the direct approach is the way to go with Disney. I don't know how effective their online stuff is because it was 12 years ago almost that I did it. Now, like I said, I just went right into HR. I think that's the best way to do that. And I'm sure there's a similar approach at Knops if you're looking at them. Yeah, vacations are nice when you are working, but it gets old when, I've been unemployed now for, well, basically almost a year. It's hard to believe that, but yeah, when the Christmas season was over last year at Disney, my hours basically went to nothing. And it doesn't seem like I've been unemployed for that long because, the first 4.5 months were, me working hard to get the house ready to sell and doing a bunch of stuff. And then it's been moving and getting stuff set up over here and doing the vlog and stuff like that. But I am ready to have a regular job. Yeah, I'm kind of in that position too, Tim. I'm going to have to, take something maybe that isn't going to be that exciting initially, but something that, as I've said in my interviews, I'm looking for a job with a good company that, will give me room to grow. Hi, Nancy. Welcome to the group. Yeah, we'll be here for a little while. So, yeah, that would drive me crazy if my health wouldn't let me work. That would be no fun. Yeah, I think you're not the first person to suggest that Baylor University may be a place to go. I should open up my mind to that maybe at some point. I'm thinking, I've been saying this before, but I'm thinking about getting serious about going to like a temp agency and see where we go with that. Because I think, if I could just even pick up some temp work, a lot of times these temp jobs they turn into real jobs. I look at it as about you know being able to try it before you buy it. Thank you, Tracy. I'm glad you like the JFK vlogs. Yeah, I thought they turned out well. You're about to go to the mall, okay? I guess the only mall I found here is the Richland Mall, huh? Maybe Chip will hire me. That'd be fun, actually. I don't think they're doing so much of that right now. I think now that the show is over, um, they I don't think they're hiring so much like that anymore. Okay, my Chinese is horrible, but welcome Chinese, welcome China. I wouldn't even know how to pronounce that. I'm not even gonna try. Did the cat still meow at night? Yeah, this one here was not so much meowing, but just kind of at about 3:30 this morning. Appreciate that, by the way. Yes, I do. Kind of his version of a growl. Yeah, no comment, Paul. I don't think the job market is slow. I see a lot of people advertising for jobs. I think the issue is just I think when I do get in there, they look at my qualifications, say, "Oh, he's overqualified for this," and what they think is, I'm going to get in there. They're going to spend a bunch of time and energy training me, and then I'm going to find another job and I'm going to leave. And I think maybe what I need to do is next time I interview, is I need to emphasize that uh, I got to emphasize that that's not who I am. You know, if I want a job that I can grow into, and I mean, my history is, you look at Disney. Disney was a job I was overqualified for, and I stayed with them for 11 years. So yeah, I hear you. That's well, and to live in California is so expensive. That was one of the reasons I left California. Because everything is so horrendously expensive. I'm going to be able to buy out, with the profits I made on my house in California, I'm going to be able to probably buy a pretty nice house here in Texas. Yep, the cat is back. Hey, buddy, you're hiding behind me, aren't you? Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, I need all the help I can get. Start a business. Yeah, I know. Maybe. The advantage here is, is that it is so much less expensive here. I filled up the car today and paid $2.09 a gallon. You know, it would have been twice that in California. The laundry room light is either haunted or shorting out. Keeps going on and off. Yeah, depends on what kind of a bulb it is. Could be a loose connection. It could be something weird in the filament. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Just I really want to talk to him about. Okay, yeah, this isn't a. Sorry, we don't do advertisings here. Not a troll, but you don't come in here and begin advertising on my live stream. That's insane. Yeah, 209. That's pretty low for gas. Do I ever watch Adam the Woo's Disney videos? Not really. I've been to that place so many times. I've seen parts of Disney he hasn't. So no, not really. I mean, I guess I've seen a few of them. Jordan and I went to Disneyland a few times, but he's just one of those real Disney fanatics. He just loves the place. What time is it in your country? It's about a little after 4 in the afternoon. But depending on where you are in the country, it's 2 on the east coast or 2 on the west coast and a little after 5 on the east coast. It's even earlier in the day if you get over to like Hawaii or Alaska. Yeah, that's true. Don't quit a job until you get another one. When I'm coming to California, I'm going home tomorrow. Flying out of here tomorrow. I'll be home tomorrow night. Well, I'll be in California tomorrow night. This is home. Yeah, 212 in California. Yeah, that's all right. Considering that post was made about a minute ago. 213 now. You're going to Oklahoma on Monday. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, a lot of people, I guess, flying for the holidays. How are my parents doing? Parents are doing good. I texted my dad um, a few days ago, and he was, saying that they're still doing good. They're looking. I think they're finally open to the idea of moving out of the house and moving into an assisted living place. And so I think we're going to go look at that while I'm there. Yeah, Alaska gets earthquakes. Alaska can get big earthquakes too. If you remember my earthquake vlog a while back, there's three kinds of earthquake faults. Ones where the plates move apart, ones where the plates rub against each other, and ones where the plates collide with each other. And the ones where the plates collide with each other, those are the ones that have the biggest earthquakes. And Alaska is on one of those plates. In fact, if you look at the Aleutian Islands, which is that island chain that goes off to the west of Alaska, it's that kind of arc going off there. Yeah, that's actually the result of what they call subduction, where one plate is going under another. I think you're right, Laura. I think today is the solstice. It is usually about now, and that sounds about right. I think it's December 21st is the solstice. So yeah, yeah, it is supposed to rain in California. I'm looking forward to that. That's always nice. Yeah, I flew into. It wasn't a direct flight. And what was the city? It was I don't remember what the city was, but it was. I think it was Fresno. I think I flew into because it wasn't a direct flight. It did. It went from Dallas to I think Fresno down to LAX. Yeah, I named what those mountains and canyons were in the video. It was kind of cool because the airplane we had like an interactive GPS system, so you could like zoom in, and see exactly where the airplane was, and so you could look out the window and say, "Oh, okay, that's what that was." Yeah, my father's continued having his paracentesis. They're not happening as regularly. He was having them about once a week, and I think they're like happening like once every month or once every 2 months, and they're pulling a lot less liquid out. So his TIPS procedures seem to do good work on that. And from what I'm hearing, that may become less of an issue as time goes by. I guess sometimes it takes a while for the TIPS procedure to fully kick in. I'm sure there are some temp agencies. Like I said, I got to get online and look for it. Hi, Connie. Welcome to the group. Yeah, send some pizza this way, Todd. I like pizza. Yeah, that's seems to me that's what my dad's doctor's been saying too, is that they will be reduced somewhat. Yeah, that's what the solstice is. It's the shortest day of the year. At this point now, the days start getting longer. That's right. Yeah, obviously the two go together. Shortest day is the longest night. And basically, it's because the Earth is tipped on its axis. So at this point, uh, it's at the point where now it's starting. The Earth relative to the Sun is beginning to tip back this way as it goes around. Because what happens, it goes around the Sun, and now this side is closer to the Sun, and when it's on this side is further away from the Sun. So at this point now, as it goes around, it changes. I won't complain about that. Yeah, everyone get up there and click the like button. Let's see how much let's see how much we can do that. If you haven't done it already. It's at 36 now. Let's see how many likes we can get. I don't know where it is. Is it down here or down here or whatever? Yeah, there we go. There's four more. Yeah, 2019 went fast. There's always large meteors passing. I think we're just discovering them now. We're getting to the point we're starting to track them and see them. But they've always kind of been there. Those are scary though. One of those hits the earth. I mean, if you've ever seen that image of Meteor Crater, I think it's in Arizona or New Mexico or someplace. It's this big hole in the ground that's several miles across, and I think they said it was caused by a meteor the size of a school bus. God's chaos. That's a good name for that. Not crazy, VNA. I'm the same way. I've always said that I was born about 200 years too early. Hi, Jeff. Welcome to the group. Always good to see you. I'll sit up here. My back is starting to bug me a little bit. Slouch too much. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's Santa's sleigh. That's true. Yeah, yeah. I'm fascinated by that kind of stuff too. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm really happy about how the vlogs turned out. And tonight's is a good one too. I got to see some things that I was hoping I'd get to see, and I got to see some things I didn't even know was even an option, and some stuff that maybe probably people aren't going to get to see very much anymore. So that was very cool. Laura Lee was bullied at school. Yeah, I know. I was too. That's probably what made me such an introvert. Come to not trust people, and it's easy just to kind of go and hide within yourself. No, I don't know a lot of Spanish, so yeah, it took me a long time to get over that. I'm going home to California tomorrow. Well, leaving home for California for tomorrow. Going to California tomorrow. Yeah, that's probably the best. Oh yeah, yeah, I know. I saw him. You really can't sneak up behind me. When you get an 18-pound cat jumping on the couch, they don't. They really can't sneak up very well. Very cool, Jeff. Yeah, I'm glad you stopped in. Merry Christmas. Hello, VNA. It's getting to be a little bit more of a challenge to find them, but I don't know. I haven't done one yet today. I think I'm going to probably do one after the live stream. Haven't picked on which one it's going to be yet, you know, but I'll find something. There's a few of them out there still, and I've threatened to hit a few of the ones that I've already done, hit them again just to make sure that either if I gave them a bad review, it wasn't unfair, or if I gave them a good review, that they really earned it. I want to go back to that Mexican place that I visited. I think it was La Fiesta. That was really good. Want to make sure that it wasn't just a fluke that day. How far is Waco from Dallas? About 80 or 90 miles. Feliz Navidad to you too. I do know what that is. I don't know a whole lot of Spanish, but living in California, I picked up a few things. Yeah, I'll hit Branch Davidians at some point. Uh, like I said earlier, I'm just a little bit, I'm a little reluctant to do too many negative stories on Waco too close to each other. I don't want this to be hey, I'm ragging on Waco, my new town here. You know, there's a lot of great things here. I love this place, and we'll go from there. I will hit it at some point though. Cool, Jeff. Yeah, I'll be here for, I don't know. We've been going for hour 40 now, so I'll be here for another 20 minutes or so. Yeah, yeah. That's Bite behind me. You rarely get to see Nibble. She's really shy. She's an introvert too. I don't know if she got bullied, but they were both actually very introverted when I got them. Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree, but I still, I don't want to, create the impression that I'm ragging on this place because I really like this place. I'm really, really happy here. Come on, Bo. Vita just said you're beautiful. Don't you have anything to say? They just said you're beautiful. Come on, at least look at the camera, man. You can always tell when he's annoyed. He starts wagging his tail. Thank you, Connie. Right back at you. Bite reminds me of an Oreo cookie. Yeah, yeah, that's probably a good description of him. Yeah, he's a big boy too. Yeah, that's what we're kind of hoping is that we'll get some views and maybe some new subscribers out of the JFK videos. That was kind of Jordan's thinking on that is that he thought that maybe the problem I'm running into with the lack of growth on my channel is the fact that um, the topics I cover for the most part are kind of limited interest to either the people, to those of you who watch everything I do, or to people who are just in Waco. So who knows? Any Western ghost towns? That's a good question. I haven't really thought about that. I guess it's probably inspired by the fact that Jordan just hit the OK Corral. That looked like a lot of fun. Tacos for dinner. Oh, that sounds good. All right. Merry Christmas to you too, Laura. Thank you for stopping by. Now he's licking his tail. Is that what you're gonna do? You've been handled. Now you still gotta lick all of me off of you, huh? Is that it? Oh, that sounds good, Nancy. Hey, Angela's here. Hi, Angela. You'll be having your first tamale on Christmas Eve. That sounds good. Yeah, tamales are good if they're done right. Thanks, Vita. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's the biggest thing that people can do for me is just watch, and you know what? Share it with your friends if you want. I'm all about that. Word of mouth is always a good thing. You're in Alaska for the holidays. Oh, that sounds like fun. Must be cold there. Cats ever lay on their backs? No, no, they don't ever do that. I think the problem is they're too fat. They wouldn't be able to get back up again if they did. I didn't really look for places to eat. The priority when I was in Dallas was just to you know get all the vlogging locations in, and I was actually surprised. I was expecting it was gonna take maybe 2 days to do that, but I guess I did my homework, I guess, and that just and I ended up having everything knowing where everything was and kind of efficiently got it all worked out. Fortunately, so much of that of the important scenes in that area were all like really close to each other. The Texas Book Depository, the police station where Oswald was shot, Jack Ruby's bar, the boarding house that Oswald stayed in, the movie theater where he was caught. They were all just like within like a 5 mile radius. So just I just I just really kind of mapped out a really efficient, pattern to make sure I hit everything, and went from there. I think it went really well. Like I said, I was done and on my way home by like 3 in the afternoon, and I arrived at the Texas Book Depository just before it opened at 10. So I got that all shot in like 5 hours. Yeah, I've heard that there's some sort of a dinosaur park around here, and I haven't been able to find it. I'll have to check it out. Because yeah, that would, you're right. I would, that is something I would enjoy doing. I got the impression it was in Waco, but the only thing really paleontology related is the Mammoth Museum. I've hit that. Thank you, PDXer. Appreciate that. Yeah, the final JFK video goes up tonight, and that will be in what, 3.5 hours. Hope you like it. I got some really good stuff on that one. I was really pleased with that one too. Yeah, thanks, Peter. I'm glad that's how you got in. I'll admit that's probably how 95% of the people in here got, found me, as Drew Jordan. So, that is a gift that keeps on giving. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely give the cats a big hug for you. At least Bite. Nibble doesn't really like the hugs that much, but we'll give her a couple extra kitty treats for her tonight. Ever since that video I did a couple weeks ago where she topped up on the chair and started taking the kitty treats out of my hand for the first time, and since I moved here, she does that every night now, so she's back to that. I think Angela was saying, yeah, a little bit earlier, she was saying it's in the single digits. Where in Alaska are you, Angela? Because Alaska is a big state. That's like saying, yeah, I'm in North America. Because Alaska is about the size of the western half of the United States. It's massive. Well, hi, Penny. Yeah, I got in right at the end here. We'll be going for another few minutes, but we've been talking about the JFK videos and possible suggestions for future vlog ideas, and just whatever people talk about. That's what these are all about. It isn't really about what I want to talk about. It's what you guys want to talk about, and we just kind of go in that whatever direction. Central Montana. Okay, that gets cold too. Oh yeah, yeah. We got the lights up again this week. Like I said, I'm going home to California tomorrow, so I don't know if there'll be another Christmas lights one, but we got them up now. I'm just looking outside, seeing if the ones outside are on yet, but no, they don't go on until 5. So Anchorage, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. They had when we were talking about earthquakes, Anchorage had one of the biggest earthquakes in history, number of years. What, back in '64? Is that when it was? I think that was like 8 on the Richter scale, something like that. Massive, massive quake. That's because of that subduction fault. Yeah, let's see what the weather looks like for Anchorage for the next few days here. So I like the internet about. I like the about the internet. You can find out stuff like that. Assuming your browser works quickly. Anchorage, Alaska. Oh, okay, yeah, it's 11 today, 9 tomorrow, 17 and 20 on Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, it's going to be warming up a little bit. Looks like you can get a little snow on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Sounds like fun. Wish you could see polar bears. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. No, not really. I mean, I guess I was aware of it, and I visited the Dealey Plaza thing, earlier this year when I came and visited Texas the first time. But yeah, I never really thought that much about it. I mean, I was aware of it. It happened about 6 months before I was born, so I don't have the memory of it. You know, the kind of defining thing in my life, I think, was you know uh, September 11th and stuff like that. Uh, but I was born after it, so it didn't quite have the impact on me that it did on a lot of other people. Thanks, Angela. I'm glad you liked the JFK videos. One more to go. I'm thinking about doing a director's cut, basically taking all three of the videos and putting them together as one and re-releasing it that way and reinserting a couple of the clips I removed, to appease YouTube. Um, yeah, Tom, it's the same way all the way across all platforms. If you watch the ad, then it counts whether no matter what device you're watching it on. I have actually, Kathy, I have actually seen things that will dispense treats. There's a couple things I've seen on the internet that do that kind of thing. I've seen people doing them for like dogs, but I would assume it would work for the cats too. I don't know what we'll do in terms of gift giving this year. In the past, we always did gift giving on Christmas Eve just because, I'm a person that likes to sleep in the morning, and so I'll come in and we'll do Christmas Eve and then sleep in on Christmas Day and then come back for like dinner or something like that. But since I'm going to be staying at my parents' house, I don't know. We'll decide. No, I don't remember RFK's assassination either. I was too little to remember that. About the first, about the first political thing I think I remember was Nixon being impeached, or well, resigning. He was never actually impeached. Yeah, you're going to get Christmas snow, Angela. I'm going to be there for about 6 days, I think, in California. I think I'm staying. I'm going tomorrow and coming back on Saturday. So whatever that is, that's about 6 days, right? Less if you count travel days, I guess. Yeah, definitely vlog it, Angela. That should be pretty. Snow is always pretty. It's funny too. You look at the weather. It's 2 overnight tonight, 8 overnight tomorrow night, but then it warms up for the snow. Odd how that works. You believe the conspiracy theories? I don't know. As I mentioned at the end of the video that gets posted tonight, I didn't really want to get into any of the conspiracy theories on this issue, just because you know I don't know which ones to follow, and a lot of them are just kind of crackpot. Oh, this is what I think happened. It's like, okay, what's that based on? Just my feelings. It's like, yeah, okay, so it's based on nothing. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I'll ever know what happened. I just, like I said at the end of the video today, I just wanted to kind of retrace the footsteps of the three principal characters, and that was Kennedy, Oswald, and Ruby. And so that's kind of what we focused on. If people want to hash it out in the comment sections below the videos, that's fine. I'm probably not going to participate in too much of that because I don't really have any insight into any of that. I'm not going to say, oh, my opinion is better than your opinion. It's like, well, no, there's still opinions. I'm flying out of Dallas tomorrow. I don't know. Jordan would probably be yelling at me. Don't give them too much information. You're going to have some stalkers show up. Yeah, if you want to wander around all 5 terminals at Dallas and look for me, whatever. Yeah, it all depends on, if somebody gets to the point where, hey, I'm getting to the end of my life and I want to spill my guts about what I know, that could happen. Who knows? We may find out. It's been, what, 56 years now since that happened. Yeah, I'm not going to go that much into detail. Yeah, I'm flying out of terminal such and such, and on flight whatever, leaving at whatever time. It's like, no, I'm not going to go into that. Not going to tell you what time. Not going to tell you what terminal. Not going to tell you what airline. If you want to go wander around, Dallas Fort Worth Airport, all day tomorrow, and on the outside chance you run into me, oh well. I mean, if you wanted to, I did a meetup, week or so ago, and nobody showed up. So yeah, seat number, right? I don't know. I've never really thought about it. It doesn't seem like it's that big of an airport. And one of the things I kind of like about flying out of Dallas is I can usually get like a nonstop. It doesn't seem to me that there's going to be a nonstop from Waco to Los Angeles. Thank you, fellas. Happy holidays to you too. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I've been kind of reluctant to even dive into the conspiracy theories because so many people put so much into their conspiracy theories that they can't just say, "Oh, I disagree with you." No, they get mad at you if you disagree with them, and that's I've even had a little bit of it in the comment sections. People say, "Oh, don't tell me you believe that Oswald did this." It's like, yeah, whatever. I'm not even going to go down that road. That's true. You'd have to have a ticket to get past security. And this close to Christmas, what's your likelihood of being able to do that? Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't really have any specific memories because all I know of the JFK assassination, short of what I've learned in the last couple of weeks, is just what I learned in the history books, and it really had no more meaning to me than Abraham Lincoln's assassination. I wasn't there either. It was something that happened before I was born. If the Mission Inn in Riverside is the one I'm thinking about, Jordan and I went and vlogged that a year or two ago, and it was very nice. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but I think Jordan and I went to that. I'm pretty sure it is. Might have been last year, but yeah, definitely search Mission Inn on Jordan's vlogs because I believe that's where we went. Might have been just last year too, because I remember we took Jaw. Jordan was in a phase where he was feeding Jaw hard-boiled eggs. Apparently, Jaw really likes hard-boiled eggs, and I guess he had an upset stomach that night and kept barfing up hard-boiled eggs all over the place. That's my memory of that. Yep, that's Bite. Bite's making another appearance. Yeah, see that I've been hearing a lot of that. That's that a lot of my viewers, are remembering. Oh yeah, I was 6, I was 10, I was 12 when that happened. Had a lot of people in the comments section saying that. Yeah, I know Bite does that. He kind of comes up here and he shows you his butt. I'm going to rename you from Bite to Butt. What do you think about that? Huh? That's your new name? Hey, Butt. How you doing, Butt? Kitty treat? Yeah, of course. I haven't really been to downtown Waco looking for lights. The closest thing I got was that Christmas fair they had a couple weeks ago that I showed you. Um, the Christmas lights that I showed you a few nights ago, and another set that I'm going to show you. I think not tomorrow night, but the night after that, are kind of more on the south and the east side of town. Yeah, maybe. What do you think? Do you like the bear? Huh? Yeah, I'm going to probably wrap this up pretty quick too, Brian. We've been going for 2 hours, and that's what I usually do. So, Merry Christmas, Brian. Oh yeah, yeah. I stare down the cat. Yeah, I'm actually pretty good at that. Staring down the cat. Light is looking a wee bit chunky. A wee bit. Let's put it this way. He's a porker. There's enough cat in there for 2 cats, isn't there? Yes, there is. Yeah, that's like an 18, 19 pound cat there. Yeah, I know. He's never missed a meal. Like he's one of those cats that gets mad when the dish is half empty. Yeah, I think that's probably a good thing to do at this point. Is we'll probably just check out here too. I see Tony Miller asked a question. I don't know if Jordan and I are going to get together. I'm not even sure if he went home for the holidays with his parents or not. So I don't know. We'll work it out over the next couple days. But um, I may see him. I may not see him. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I think that is about all for tonight. I'm going to wrap this up. So, uh, like I said, I'm going home to California tomorrow. I'm going to spend the Christmas there, and so we'll get a few more vlogs out of there. I want to visit a Christmas neighborhood that literally just like what you've seen before, except it isn't just one or two streets. It's like a whole community that does this, and so I want to visit that. And so there's going to be at least 2 more Christmas light videos coming up because I already shot one last night, which will come up I think on Monday, and then we'll go from there. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you everyone as always for watching, and have a terrific Merry Christmas, everyone. Good night.